Hi, Coach. Obviously, a
Okay.
very disappointing performance on multiple fronts. What was the most?
I think a lot. To be honest with you, a lot was. I felt we never got started, and they scored from a deflected. They scored from a deflected shot in the first half, and they had one shot in the first half. Maybe I know they had a lot of corners and a lot of sort of like momentum, but they only had one shot, and we had two massive opportunities. And we've got to put them away. So that was the disappointing thing: is that our best players didn't put the ball in the back of the net, which is what we paid them to do. But I just felt there was just a little bit of naivety to some of our play. Jimmy for it, unacceptable. I defend my players to the hilt, but that's unacceptable because that's a pattern. It's not the first time. So he's obviously been told that this is sort of like the last time. There's a pattern where you've got to start learning. First time's okay, second time you start, and then third and fourth time it becomes a real concern. So that was a concern. And when we went down to 10 men, obviously then it became really difficult. But I just think it was a steep learning curve for the team. I feel as if we've been doing really well, and today was another steep learning curve where we've got to improve. We've got to be mentally tougher on the road. We've got to find ways to win, myself included. This is not just a players thing. We've got to find ways to win. We've got to be smart, and coming away from the comfort of Providence was a big test for us. And I felt we failed the test today in terms of. I felt the players now need to start living in that vulnerability stage. They need to start living in that stage where they're feeling uncomfortable, where there's pressure on, where they're feeling like uncomfortable, and that's the next step for the team.
One more question. Joe Ortiz not in the match day squad. Can you give any clarity on why he was left out today?
His wife gave birth to a baby. So as I was going to the airport yesterday, his wife went into labour. It should have been for next week, but obviously nature doesn't always go according to plan. So we were super happy for Zhao and his wife and his beautiful family, and it left us really short in an area where we only had two players. As you see at the end, we had Kamal Miller in centre midfield. But I always think that family comes before football, and him being at home to help his wife, who was rushed into hospital yesterday to have the baby, was more important than today.
All right, we're going to go to online. Sam Spiller, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. The offense especially, it looked like it was really struggling to find consistency tonight. What was kind of your plan going into this game, and why didn't it pan out? What were the reasons you saw that it didn't really pan out on the field?
Well, I think performance levels were nowhere near what we saw last week at Providence. I think that was, away games are different. You can't just think that it's just going to be easy, and you want to hold the ball. You want your players to get into a situation where they can show their qualities, and if they don't show those qualities, it's going to be really difficult for the defenders. So I think that and the fact that I just felt that we looked a little bit nervous in possession of the ball. We looked rushed. We didn't get our structure right, and when we didn't get our structure right, I felt as if we were rushed and not composed, and that's something that I thought we did really well last week.
All right, we're going to jump to Alex Barnes. Go ahead.
Hi, Phil. You mentioned being light with just Cole Bassett and Diego Chara in midfield, with Zhao his wife obviously giving birth. You've talked a lot about during preseason giving youngsters an opportunity. I was just curious as to why maybe there wasn't a call up for a Noah Santos or an Eric Izoita today.
To be honest with you, I think Noah Santos obviously is not a central midfield player, and we burned an opportunity last week. And to be honest with you, we were driving to the airport yesterday at 1:00, and then all of a sudden Zhao's wife, and Zhao was 10 minutes away from the airport, Zhao's wife goes into labour, and it's past the deadline to then call somebody up, because obviously with Zhao we would have had sufficient backup. Eric Izotta at this moment in time is not eligible for the first team because he needs to sign a contract with T2 and with the club. So in terms of that respect, Eric Isotta wasn't available. He couldn't have played anyway today.
All right, we're going to wrap up with Tyson Alger. Go ahead, Tyson.
Hey, Phil, I know Gage had that blank shot that he had to.
Yeah.
Just what did you make of his play today?
I like Gage. I think he's doing great. I think his goals will come. His energy, his attitude, his mentality. He's mentally strong. Doesn't let things affect him. Does the job that we ask him to do, and we're super pleased with Gage.